This is KHQA Overtime with Chris Dewar. Brought to you by Con Communications. This is KHQA. It's your news now.
And this is Saturday, October the 19th, and you have entered overtime. And this is the very stretch of weekends that this very show was created for. An extra-large sportscast for the outsized fall postseason schedule, which really began in earnest today and won't stop until we're all fat and happy and sleepy off Thanksgiving leftovers. The first leg of this autumnal athletic onslaught, I should say, comes with the arrival of state golf. And after round one of the Illinois Class 3A boys tournament, it seemed like the Tri-State's best hope for a fall trophy had evaporated. The Quincy Blue Devils, undefeated in tournament play coming in, put up a .315 on Friday, 20 strokes off the pace, mired in 8th place and left for dead in the hardware department. Or so it would have seemed. The Devils responding well today. Doug Bruner's crew, absolutely ridiculous, getting back into the hunt, jumping 5 spots in the team standing for a tie for 3rd place, just 1 stroke out of 2nd. Really, looking at it individually, the biggest key of the day, Andrew Eilers playing the round of his life today. Fired a 71 after an 83 yesterday. Ridiculously well done as you take a look at the individual scoring there. Zach Burry, solid as always, but there's Eilers jumping up really nicely. Colby Rodemick pulled it back together really well today, and the 4 scores that counted made for a heck of a day and a comeback for the Quincy Blue Devils. Doug Bruner's team gets yet another trophy, number 3, and Mr. Eilers is to thank for that big time today.
They're pretty nice.
It was great. I've never had that feeling going into 18 even par before, and I just went in, hit a good drive, hit a good second shot, and I felt confident over my putt and just knocked it in.
Coach told us, 300 would get us to where we thought would be around 3rd, and I started out there struggling, but coming out there, Andrew didn't know he was playing well until when I finished 9. I heard he was even, and then I got a little pumped up and made a couple birdies come in and finished my last 10, I think 3 under to help us get to the 3rd place.
I tell you what, after the first day, we knew we were going to have to play really well. We played really well, and then we sat in the clubhouse for about a half hour, and we were like, well, we're about 7 or 8 back, and then all of a sudden we're about 3 or 4 back, and then it was very exciting being in there because then we finally got even with them, and then we're like, holy cow, are we going to barely sneak this out, or are we going to be crushed by a stroke?
After yesterday, we felt like we were kind of going to get robbed again, like we did last year at the state tournament. And even after our rounds, we didn't think we were going to be where we are now. We were in 5th, looking at the leaderboard and watching it as scores just got closer and closer to us. And finally, we ended up tied for 3rd, and it was crazy in there. What's
really neat about this is we just put our 13th state trophy in our trophy case here, which ties our legendary basketball program with 13. And it also shows just how many great golfers this school's put out there.
A pretty special group of seniors, and I mean a pretty big group of seniors, and all of them had a hand in this at one point or another, which you've touched on a number of times. It's kind of been the hallmark of this team. To have to say goodbye to these guys got to be pretty tough.
We lose a very big and very talented senior class. You're exactly right, and it's going to be almost impossible, really impossible to replace those guys, and we're going to work as hard as we can with the younger kids we got, but you're right, we lose a ton of talent.
Your last chance to say goodbye to those outstanding seniors coming up tomorrow. Trophy ride on the fire truck at 12:30. Reception at Quincy High School at 1 o'clock. Congratulations to the Blue Devils for another state trophy. West Central on the boys' side, Class 1A today at Prairie Vista. Not a great team score as West Central finishes 12th, but some nice individual finishes today as Hunter Bettis crawls into the top 20 and Jordan McMillan just misses. 2 great showings there. And Brown County's Ben Hooker, the best unattached individual golfer from the area in Class 1A from Brown County, firing a 168 today. Let us take you now to Decatur Red Tail Run, where Camp Point Central, the only team eligible and playing very well after finishing In 8th place yesterday, Caitlin Ray and company kind of getting it going today, just playing very solid golf. Ray today, the best of the group. She fired a 91 today, 184 overall, good for 52nd place on a very tough track. Jackie Higgins also playing very solid golf throughout the weekend. She does a nice job here cleaning up the par putt to finish up a 187 on her day. Amanda Ehrig also very, very solid today. Chloe Boone also jumping into the fray as well. You see Ehrig here, Boone not pictured, fired a 92 today, the lowest score among her teammates, or the second lowest score behind Caitlin Ray, to help her team jump all the way up to 6th place. Congratulations to Central, great finish there. You're looking individually now at Quincy Notre Dame's Lucy Clark, the top local finisher on the day individually on the girls side. Lucy with a 79 today, a 156 overall, great approach shot here to finish in 8th place individually. Also Dakota Limpkeman jumping up as well into the top 20 today. She fired an 81 today in those tough conditions, 164 overall for her. Congratulations to those two. Not pictured, Haley Hadsall had a bit of a rough day today from Macomb, but she does end up with a 38th place finish individually, so congratulations to all our state golfers on a fine finish. And with the high school golf season, the first of the fall now to be completed, the trophy quest now turns to the Diamond, where a pair of red-hot Northeast Missouri softball squads sought to punch their tickets to the state Final Four, and both had home field advantage working in their favor. A rough start for Highland, although some great defense early on, a bit of a jam working, but behind the plate, Autumn Floria with great snare there. Unfortunately, moments later for Highland, Abby Bartley, the pitcher, going to help her own cause with a 2-run jack. It's 2-0 South Callaway at that point. Tell you what, the Lady Bulldogs not done. Strange run at the end of the top of the first here. South Callaway scores another one on the odd pop-up that eludes everybody, gets a run home. Eventually, though, Highland turns this thing as Casey Hinkle gets the put out and ends the frame. Great play at third base, by the way, right there by Ashlyn Lay to kind of keep the ball from getting away. Highland gets out of the jam and then starts the top of the first with a flourish. Ricky Henderson style leadoff home run from Avery Johnson right here cuts that lead to 3-1. Unfortunately for Highland, in the third inning, tough frame. They give up 6 runs, fall behind 9-1, so the rally, Rasta Bananas are out. I don't know, those Highland hooligans got their own thing. But here comes Highland fighting and chipping its way back. Ashlyn Lay with an RBI double in this one. Then Dana Flanagan doing some work right here with a little gap wedge that nobody can feel. That scores a run. And you know what? Highland was pulling off the comeback of the century. Again, I mentioned down as much as 9-1. More coming in this one. Carly Smith doing the deed from the left side of the plate with a 2-run double. And when Dana Flanagan steps back to the plate here and hits this sac fly coming up, Highland, which had been down 9-1, had closed to within 9-8 going into the 5th inning. Unfortunately, 6 unanswered runs for the Bulldogs spelled doom for Highland. That great season is over. The Lady Cougars, fantastically done, but they are out shy of Springfield. Final count in this one today, 15-8 in favor of South Callaway. Would we have better luck just up the road on Highway 6, where it would be Knox County taking on a perennial powerhouse in West Tran? Lauren Dale dominant on the hill as she's been all season long, striking out the side in the first. Knox threatens here with an early walk and a hit followed up by Madison McKay, but West Tran flashes some great defensive leather right here to get out of that jam and end the threat. So Knox County can't get the scoring to happen at that point. Dale, I tell you what, really good. She allowed 5 walks in the first 5 innings, but not a single hit in this game, as she was just absolutely working it on the hill in this one. Following a walk, Knox only senior Sarah Dooley in this one going to come out and do some work right here, throwing out a West Tran runner to try to steal. Coming up a bit later here in the second after that great Dale strikeout right here. Here's the deal. As good as Lauren Dale was early, everything kind of falls apart on a misplay late. Great throw right there by Sarah Dooley, by the way. Everything kind of falls apart late as West Tran just starts amassing runs in strange fashion, including a home run by Kelsey Link in this one that kind of proves to be Knox County's undoing. Great win streak is over. Knox County's fine run comes to an end as the Lady Eagles lose today, 1 game short of a return trip to Springfield. 10-2 was your final there. I have better news, though, in tennis today. Great news for Unity freshman Nikita Berger, who is headed to state for the first of what we think will be 4 years. She finished 3rd today in the sectional and state singles. Remember, she plays unattached, but her score was so good, Unity finishes 6th in the sectional, which goes to tell you a lot. Nikita goes 3-1 on the day, her only loss to the #1 girl from Sacred Heart Griffin, but congratulations to Nikita, headed off to state. So too the outstanding doubles duo today from Quincy High School, Delaney O'Donnell and Sarah Boyd, both headed to state after a 4th place finish in the doubles. Congratulations to those girls. Got some soccer for you today. Not a lot of scoring between Quincy Notre Dame and Springfield Lutheran, but one goal was enough. Coming in the 56th minute in this one, Brendan Smith hammering home. We'll take it to you in slow motion as you can see him punch this to the back of the net. The golden goal for Brendan Smith. Quincy Notre Dame advancing on to the sectionals with a win today, 1-0. The keeper, the coach, couldn't be happier.
I mean, I thought we were going to come out and play hard. Obviously, it's the regional championship. It's my last year here, and for some other seniors, it's their last year. And we just thought, you know, if we come out and play hard, we're going to win this game.
After the goal, we had a scrappy goal. We got a nice cross in. Brendan did a nice job of finishing it. And then our momentum was on our side. It was just a matter of controlling the win. But we were a little lethargic going forward today, but we got the goal when it mattered.
I think if we keep playing at the rate we're playing, we have a good chance of going to state.
Notre Dame travels to Raymond Lincolnwood, where they will take on Greenville. That game slated for a 6 p.m. start on Tuesday. The Quincy Blue Devils end their regular season on a down note in Jefferson City, losing to Helias 3-0. The Devils end the regular season 14-3-4. They will try to punch their ticket to state, starting with Step 1 at Alton coming up on Wednesday, a 4:30 game against Granite City. Overtime show when we come back. A busy day on the college football docket, including highlights from the first collegiate start of former West Hancock quarterback Coy Dorothy at McMurray. That's next. We'll see you then.
You're watching KHQA Overtime with Chris Dewar. Brought to you by Con Communications.
The learning curve in college football is so incredibly steep that most true freshman quarterbacks never glimpse more than a clipboard on the sidelines during their first year of play. Coy Dorothy is proving the rare exception. Inserted into the lineup in the second half of McMurray's loss last week in an attempt to breathe some life into a moribund offense, the West Hancock product responded with 117 rushing yards and a hand in 3 different touchdowns. Impressive debut. Today, Coy Dorothy made his debut as a big early in this game as Eureka would take a 16-0 lead on this pass play from Blake Robles, and that made it 16-0, as I said. Now, as you will see in the second half, how do I put this delicately? Coy not getting a whole lot of protection, having to run an awful lot today, but these are the kind of plays that Coy Dorothy made at West Hancock, and this play good for a first down as he hooks up with Zach Mudd on the run, just winging one. Coy Dorothy gives you some of that if your protection isn't good. Had a great run at this going on early. That first drive would stall, but this one would not. Check it out. Coy Dorothy with the longest pass of his young career, 80 yards to Kimani Meekins for a touchdown to put our friends from McMurray on the board. They trailed 16-7 at this point. Coy Dorothy all fired up, as Willie should be. Now his third career touchdown passing, so really doing a nice job in that department. He ran a lot today, sometimes for his life, as I mentioned, 21 carries for a team-high 70 yards. He also went 19 of 34 passing for 2 touchdowns and an interception. Coy looked really good. The defense played pretty well at times against a really good Eureka team, but McMurray ends up with a loss today in a game that was fairly close at the end, thanks in large part to Coy Dorothy's ability to improvise on offense. 23-15, your final there. And we will keep you apprised of Coy's progress as he continues to grow. He's got 4 years, though, so McMurray's got to be pleased as punch to have that kid on board. Speaking of great quarterbacks, Michael Bates doing it again, helping Illinois College improve to 6-0 on the season with a blowout win at Beloit in wintry conditions today. Bates with 3 touchdown passes. Illinois College just darn good right now. Speaking of darn good, look at the Quincy University offense today at Kentucky Wesleyan, 80 points. That sets a new conference and program record for not only points, but total yards as QU rolled up 707 on the road. The Hawks also matched school records today for points and a half, where they scored 49. Rushing touchdowns, they had 7, and set records today with 11 total touchdowns and 11 extra points. Hey, that's a really good sign. Elsewhere in the GLVC, homecoming for Truman State, a tight one, but the Bulldogs beat McKendree 28-21. Culver Stockton nearly pulling off another upset. This team is 0-7, but they have been really close on a number of occasions, including one today where the game was tied with 2:52 left against the number 16 team in the nation at Peru State's house. Culver Stockton just can't finish today. Curtis Widener, 10 of 32 passing, but he did have 3 touchdowns in that one. Western Illinois, the struggles continue as the Leathernecks are fast falling out of playoff relevancy. They lose and fall to 3-5. Played pretty well today up until the end of this thing. Fourth quarter, Youngstown State at home. The Penguins found a way to punch it home. 24-14 was your final in that ballgame. A couple of college scores to pass along today. Benedictine, really good in men's college soccer, number 6 in the nation, shuts out Culver Stockton 3-0. Also, HLG's national ranking in jeopardy after a loss to Lindenwood Belleville. 3-2 was your final there. Illinois College, the lone winner on the day, beating Cornell 2-1 on a golden goal by Josu Hernandez at the 81-minute mark in that one. On the women's side today, Culver Stockton beaten by that same 3-0 mark by Benedictine, and also the HLG women shut out today by Lindenwood Belleville. The final count in that one was 3-0 as well, which brings us now, of course, to that time, the latest Con Communications connection of the month of October. And it is our second offering. And don't forget, at the end of this month, you can go to connecttristates.com and vote on your favorite of all these highlights, where simply by voting, you can win a prize package from our friends at Con. I always want to say that like Star Trek. Con! Great stuff here today from the Hannibal Pirate soccer team. You remember it from earlier this week. Golden goal against Mexico, 5 minutes deep. Great centering pass from Trevor Hertline. Amazing cranium shot, as you saw right there on senior night by one of those outstanding Pirate seniors, Scott Cockrell. Look at it again in slow motion. Kid just makes it work, beats the goalie, freezes him with a kind of side bob head move, a little bit of a deke action with the neck, and makes it work. 1-0, Hannibal wins, and that was a great goal indeed. Now, that's your second nominee. The first one also pretty darn good, and will get a lot of support. So if you're a Hannibal fan, you better start voting early and often when we go to the polling at the end of this month, because I think Louisiana's Caitlin Bolton is going to get a lot of fun for her home run that helped Louisiana win its first ever district title in softball. Then again, Scott Cockrell and Hannibal also in the mix. We'll have 2 more nominees before the end of the month, and your chance to vote coming up when we flip the calendar over. And we've got plenty more overtime coming up, including your Seeds of Greatness from cross country and an update on a Seeds of Greatness alum who won a state championship today. That story and more when overtime continues. Yes, you are. And with all of the usual Friday night football frivolity and fanfare going on, you might have missed the fact that Quincy High not only made an encouraging immediate splash while hosting this year's Western Big Six cross country meet yesterday, but the Blue Devils may have simultaneously also thrown down the girls' gauntlet for the future.
Seeds of Greatness brought to you by Burris Hybrids.
Just the fact that I want to make my team proud and my coach proud of me, so I try my best.
Charlie Wollaston's best has set a nice benchmark in her freshman season for Blue Devil cross country this fall. It included a high watermark all-conference honor on Friday at the Western Big Six meet, where her fourth place finish, while breaking the 20-minute barrier in the 3-mile for the first time in her career, demonstrates both her future promise and some big-time moxie right now.
It's really exciting for me because I hope I can get better, and I think I will, with the help of my teammates and coach.
Goals going into the postseason? I mean, obviously you've got regionals right around the corner. You could make it to state. That's a really nice leg up to start your career, is it not?
Yes, I would really like it to get to state. I'm not sure if it will be this year or another year, but I hope it comes soon.
And when it comes to running, Charlie need not look beyond her own household for a source of ample motivation.
It helps me a lot because I want to keep up with my brother and keep ahead of my sister.
And as if that isn't enough to speak to the talents of the Wollaston family, there's also the fact that Charlie took up golf this year as a dual fall sport athlete for the Blue Devils and did surprisingly well there for someone with so little experience.
I wasn't interested in it when I was younger. It just seemed kind of slow, but it's getting more exciting for me.
There you go. Wonderful young lady. Well, this proved to be a rather impressive Saturday for another Seeds of Greatness cross-country alum. Liberty 7th grader Caitlin Robbins, who you see right there, was 20 seconds faster than the rest of the field today at Maxwell Park in Normal and wins a state IESA state championship, finishing at a time of 11:27. Thanks to Caitlin's efforts, the Liberty girls finished 5th as a team as well. The future is very bright indeed for Eagle and Lady Eagle cross country as the boys finished 19th at state as well. The present ain't too shabby either. Let's take you to the West Central Conference meet today. Jared Schmidt's Liberty Eagles, as we switch video right here. Go ahead and do that for me, my man. Nicely done, Mr. Jordan. And away we go. Jordan Schmidt's Liberty Eagles looking to take a pair of team titles. On the girls' side, Macomb is in the house for the all-conference meet, which means Karen Paisley is usually to be found out ahead of the pack, and she certainly was. Although a great group today would give her no quarter, including Carly Garnett and Caitlin Ober today of Illini West and Liberty respectively, Mariah Brody as well. But as you can see, Karen Paisley would get out to the nice start right here and then eventually separate herself from the pack very nicely to finish today with a conference meet championship time of 19:33.94. Now that was good for first place. Not very far behind was Carly Garnett, the sophomore out of Illini West, finishing at a time of 19:42. In third place, running the home track, and she's dueled nicely with Caitlin Obert over the last couple of weeks, is Caitlin Obert. I should say she's dueled nicely with Carly Garnett. So third place for Caitlin Obert. Mariah Brody coming in 5th from Illini West in a time right here of 20.22. Katie Cook running a great race for Liberty today. Something about going to a Sadie Hawkins dance, I'm told. Runs a time of 20:30 for 6th place. Megan Groth out of Illini West finishing there at 2032 for 7th. And Megan Berry out of Liberty 8th. And Carla Mendoza of Macomb 9th. Team finishes today. Liberty finishes first with a 48-point tally. Macomb second with a 52-point tally. And Illini West was third at 73. How about the boys trying to make it a clean sweep for the Liberty homestanding Eagles? Quincy Notre Dame's Luke Watson, though, tearing it up at Uland Acres, and he is just flat running ahead of everybody else, setting his own pace and time. Liberty's Brady Cook, though, dueling for second place right here with Monrose's Nathan Alt and Trevor Hatch. Brett Genenbacher in fourth at this point, but Watson just killing it today. So much faster than everybody else. In fact, would come in at a time today of 16:16:29 to win the championship, getting a little encouragement at the almost 2.5-mile mark right there, as he would finish up strongly in this one, finishing at a time of 16:16:29. Brady Cook from Liberty, who you see right there, finished fourth. Brett Genenbacher fifth, and Connor Wolf sixth, making a Liberty run of triplicate, 4, 5, and 6 right there. Cam Brock of Macomb finishes 7th on the day, and Pittsfield's Kit Mefford finishes 8th. By the way, your team scores, Liberty wins yet again with 34 points there. Quincy Notre Dame, led by Mr. Watson, who you see here coming across the finish line with a third-place finish today of 72. So congratulations to all involved. A couple of volleyball scores to pass along on this day. West Hancock takes 4th place today at the Bushnell Tournament, and it was Rushville Industry taking 2nd place today at the Abingdon Tournament. So congratulations to both those teams. And we'll have more overtime for you coming up after this. I'll just do a quick goodbye. No, it was video to video. You were fine. I called for it and you did good. I didn't know if you knew to change it or not because it went from cross country to cross country. Well, how's this for poor planning? Mizzou is 7-0 and beat Florida today. I didn't leave enough time to gloat. We're out of time here on Overtime. More playoff action coming up right here next Saturday.